Welcome to the regularly scheduled City Commission meeting for Tuesday, June the 27th. If you would, please rise with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have a call for attendance, please?
Commissioner Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Here.
Commissioner Flitt is absent. Commissioner Vowles?
Here.
Mayor State?
Here. And before we get started with our agenda today, is there anyone here with us today who has anything to bring to the City Commission that is not on the agenda? Hearing nothing, we will move into the agenda portion for the meeting with a presentation for a service award for Billy Stone.
Billy R. Stone started his career with the city as a crew worker for the gas department on June 18, 1998. He promoted to a crew worker senior on October 5, 2000, then to a gas servicer in August 2002, and to his current position as a gas distribution crew leader in November 2010. Billy has worked in every aspect of the gas department over the years, which has given him a wealth of knowledge that may never be filled again. His skills honed over the years have allowed him to be a teacher to those working under him for his 13 years as a crew leader. He has always ensured that any yard he leaves at the end of the day is better than his own. He has been known to grab the rake from anyone he believes isn't doing the job well enough to ensure the work is done right. He is respected by all the gas department members as an honest man who will always do an honest day's work. The gas department will always remember his dedication and miss him as he enjoys his retirement. The city appreciates Billy's dedication and loyalty, and we are happy to have you here today with us to honor you with this 25-year service award pin.
All right, Billy, on behalf of the City of Henderson, we want to thank you for your service. We owe you a whole lot more than just this pin, but we hope that you'll accept it as a token of our gratitude, and thank you so much for your service to this city and the role that you've had for 25 years. We certainly appreciate it. If you'd like to, you're welcome to address the commission or the room. All right. Thank you. All right, and before we go to the consent agenda, are there any items on today's consent agenda that any city commissioner would like to pull for further discussion? Hearing none, please read the consent agenda.
Consent agenda for the June 27, 2023 meeting consists of the May 23, 2023 regular meeting minutes, Resolution 32-23, resolution approving memorandum of understanding between Henderson Community College, KCTCS, and the City of Henderson, Kentucky for the Police Department, Municipal Order 34-23, municipal order awarding bid for purchase of turnout coats and turnout pants for the Fire Department to Mid-America Fire and Safety, LLC of Evansville, Indiana, in the amount of $49,900.59. And Municipal Order 35-23, municipal order awarding bid for purchase of a 2024 Freightliner chassis with a Heil 24-yard Liberty ASL for the Sanitation Division from Stringfellow of Louisville, Kentucky through Sourcewell contract number 091219THC in the amount of $271,948.08.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
We have a second. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Vowles?
Aye.
Mayor State?
Aye. Next, we have a municipal order approving the Pratt Properties option to purchase the old Corridon Road property.
Municipal Order Number 36-23, municipal order approving option to purchase real estate located on Old Corridon Road between the City of Henderson and Pratt Properties 2 LLC, and authorizing mayor to execute all necessary documents.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Vowles,
Aye.
Mayor State.
Aye. Next, we have a resolution approving an MOU for the purchase of a right-of-way.
Resolution number 33-23, resolution accepting proposal of the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Department of Highways, allowing KYTC to purchase necessary right-of-way and easements on Watson Lane to construct 2 projects, and accepting the acquired permanent easements and ownership and maintenance for the acquired right-of-way upon completion of those projects.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or further discussion?
I'll make one comment. The reason we have to do this MOU is that Watson Lane is a local city street. Although KYTC, it's a funded project through them to do a portion of it on behalf of the state highway, which would be the intersection with 41. But the balance of it involves the city, and that's where we use our federal and state fuel tax money. It comes back through the MPO to us, so that's why we're being asked to accept the MOU with regards to right-of-way.
Gotcha. I'm excited about the project getting underway. The any other questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Vowles,
Aye.
Mayor State.
Aye. Next, we have a resolution approving an MOU for the purchase of temporary easement on Kentucky 812.
Resolution number 34-23, resolution approving memorandum of understanding between the City of Henderson and the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Department of Highways, including a temporary easement for the Kentucky 812 Bridge project at North Fork Canoe Creek.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions?
Same thing, comment, the bridge on Clay Street over Canoe Creek will be replaced sometime next year. It will be done in cooperation, coordination with the I-69 project. And they must, by federal highway regulations, pay us for this temporary easement to build a new bridge.
All right. Any additional comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Vowles,
Aye.
Mayor State.
Aye. Next, we have a municipal order awarding a bid for the purchase of a regular truck cab.
Municipal order number 37-23, municipal order awarding bid for purchase of an F-250 SRW 2x2 pickup truck with installed service bed for Public Works to Mid-Tennessee Ford Truck Sales Incorporated of Nashville, Tennessee, in the amount of $55,524.38.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Vowles, Mayor State.
Aye. City Manager's report.
I have a couple of things, but before I ask Tim Clayton to come before y'all with a update of his department, I attended the Henderson Water Utility Board meeting last night, and just to give you a high level of what they're doing currently, their new operations center, which is located in the corporate park off of Sam Lane, is nearing completion, and they're looking for occupancy probably sometime in September or October. And then the other item that they awarded a contract is required by the Environmental Protection Agency. They have awarded a contract to do water line inspections for lead. And it's something, as y'all are aware, that happened in, I think, the state of Michigan that led to the reform in requiring utilities to identify any potential lead piping in a utility system. Furthermore, the next phase of drainage off of Old Madisonville Road has begun. They will award a contract sometime this summer another phase of that drainage improvements in Country View. So that project continues to proceed forward, and we've had positive feedback, and thanks to this commission for funding in partnership with the water utility that those improvements.
Which phase are we on?
Well, that's a good question, because if you ask me, is that 3? I would tell you 4, because there was a project that didn't get counted, but the answer is, after this future new design project, will we have one more to do, or will that be the end?
About 2. It's going to be about 1.5, but it'll be really 2 more things.
Yeah. So, thanks to the cooperation and partnership with our water utility, that project is showing great signs of progress and has demonstrated results of improved drainage.
I remember when it kicked off how difficult of a project it was because of all of the unmapped gas lines and other things that the water department had to deal with, and we certainly do appreciate where we're at now versus where we were then, and thank you for continuing on. We certainly appreciate your partnership.
Tim, do you mind to come forward and provide an update of our gas department's current activities?
I've got a fairly quick presentation here, but this is our Station 1 facility on Madison Street. It's near Braco and entrance to Hazex on Madison Street. This kind of triangular area here is our existing Station 1 that's been there in this configuration since 1986, I believe. That you see here is the Texas Gas orifice meters, 2 of them that they have. Feeds down to our filter, or to our heater. Our regulator runs our filter and our odorant, and it goes out here north and south on Madison Street. So initially this Station 1 was not large enough to feed the new Pratt facilities, so we started on our new Station 1, which is back here, and what was used to be the old propane peaking facility that was removed probably 20 plus years ago. Now if you look here, this is the new Texas Gas facility, which we paid them to install, which is more or less just a lot of underground piping and then an 8-inch ultrasonic meter that will measure all the gas that moves through here and moves through our purchase point. So this is just some work in progress of what Texas Gas did to kind of show you. It's not just what you see above ground. There's a lot that goes on underground during the construction. But this is the meter skid that they brought in just on a skid and installed there. This is some more of the underground piping. This is actually where they connected to their transmission line here. This is a riser on their valve that allows them to open and close the valve from above ground. This is just some inlet piping to the meter skid. This is the actual 8-inch ultrasonic meter on Texas Gas's skid that all the gas flows through and how they measure all of our gas. That's the new 80-foot communications tower that they installed at the site. So when you move on from Texas Gas line, there's a red valve here that separates Texas Gas facility from our facility. So all this here is our new facility. Comes in here and it flows through a filter where that cleans the natural gas. It comes out and it flows through this large water bath heater, it's called, and it only really runs in the winter, and it heats the gas and makes sure that the gas doesn't get down to a temperature where it will freeze and cause issues. So that's the main purpose of the heaters, just heating the gas. And then this is an odorant skid here. When the natural gas comes in to our facility, it doesn't have that rotten egg smell. We actually have to put that, what's called mercaptan chemical, into the gas, and we have to monitor it downstream to make sure it's readily detectable at different locations throughout our system. But this is a system that will inject it into our line. And then here you'll see 2 different regulator runs. This run here will feed back over and into our existing system. is already in place, and it will replace everything that's over at Station 1, these reg runs, and then these regulator runs here will feed out to the new 5-mile pipeline that's completed, and it'll go all the way out to the Pratt facility. And the pressure on this line will be around 300 psi, and the pressure on our existing system that feeds here is around 165 psi. So that's the, it's fairly simple when you look at it from here with just a filter, a heater, and the 2 separate regulator runs and the odorant. We'll also have a meter here, a check meter it's called, that we'll kind of check what Texas Gas is telling us that we're metering. We'll have a smaller, less expensive meter here that will give us confidence that what Texas Gas is telling us is correct. Actually, this week when I was out there, they're in the process of rocking the rest of the facility, so the entire site will be rocked. So it'll be very nice and clean. We've already got a purchase order in place with, I think, Burcor Fencing, the same company that's installing some fencing for HWU. They'll be replacing the fence all the way around our station here and at Pratt, so we're just waiting on them to schedule that. This is just some construction and process pictures. This is where they were installing the civil supports, the concrete foundations for everything that was installed there. And this is when they were moving the heater in and setting it on its foundations.
One comment about the heater, Tim had the foresight to know that that could be a long lead item, and that's one of the very first things we purchased after Pratt announced that they were coming here. So kudos to him and his staff for having that foresight.
And then we've moved here to our Pratt site. The smaller meter in the background is the corrugator meter set, which has been in place since the fall and fed gas to Pratt over the fall, mainly for heat load in the mill to make sure they could get the boiler up and running. They had to keep the temperature, a certain temperature in there to get it set up. So that's been working for a while. And this is our new mill meter set here, which we actually built in-house. We built it in our fabrication shop over on Corporate Court. Our welder welded it up. We designed it in-house, and we installed it with all in-house crews. So really the only thing on this that we didn't do is the painting. So we're proud to be able to do that work. And that's essentially complete. We're just waiting on some permanent stands to replace these temporary ones. And we're moving gravel out there as we speak to get that whole site graveled. And there'll actually be a fenced enclosure installed there as well at the same time as the fence on Station 1. This is just when we brought the sections of the big mill meter set in. We brought them in 2 sections. And luckily the cranes were already out there, and it was slightly overkill for what we needed, but we were able to get these 2 sections installed in an hour using the big cranes that were already there, so that went pretty well. Like I said, that's just the smaller corrugator meter set that will feed specifically to the corrugator side Pratt. So we'll have 2 different meters, one specifically for the mill and one specifically for the corrugating facility. And that's just an aerial that we took while we were out there, just to give you an idea of the size of it. When you're out there, especially in the front, really all you can see is this building here, and you don't realize that there's all this back there behind it. I believe that's it. And we basically, on the Station 1, we have to do some regulator plumbing and instrumentation in the next couple weeks, and essentially we're ready to flow. We're ready to work with Texas Gas on the startup, and ready to work with Pratt on when they need to start up. So we're on schedule and ready to go.
Well, the other thing, if you don't mind, do you mind to mention the work you've been doing on Watson Lane in preparation for that construction project?
Yeah.
And maybe mention anything you've had to do with I-69.
On Watson Lane, we did have to relocate all of our facilities within Watson Lane. It's about 6,000 feet, the length of that project, so we had to install about 6,000 feet of 4-inch intermediate pressure line. So we've done almost everything north of the new bridge, where the bridge was replaced. That was kind of our first phase of working north of the bridge. And then as soon as that's done, probably in another couple of weeks, we'll fall back to the south side of the bridge. We'll start at Hillmont. We'll be over on the field side, installing new main all the way up to the creek crossing. And so I suspect about another 6 or 8 weeks, and we'll be completed with those relocations on Watson Lane.
And then you're also extending gas service underneath I-69 to serve.
They have to serve across to Melody Lane and the Boots property for future development over there. We have to run about 2,000 feet of 4-inch across the interstate, so it'll be stubbed out over there and ready to serve, whatever facilities may come over there in the future. It'll be good to have that in place. And then I-69, we had a section of steel high-pressure line at Hemsey Lane that was relocated some time ago, I think last year probably. And then we're also waiting on design to be finalized on the 351 corridor. We have to relocate probably around 800 or 900 feet of 4-inch high-pressure line there at the 351 interchange. Once that's done, we'll be essentially complete with our I-69 relocations. We have to do the Melody Lane crossing and the 351, which is Melody Lane crossing, we're doing that in-house, but the 351 will be done by Miller Pipeline, contractor that's working for Regal. So,
I guess the point of a lot of this presentation that I think the Board of Commissioners needs to understand is that Tim and his staff, for now probably 18 months or longer, have completed some very important projects and supported I-69 at the same time. And I will tell you, when we were negotiating with Pratt, one of the biggest things that Pratt said to us, if you don't finish in time, we want you to pay us liquidated damages for not being able to start up our plant. Of course, we wouldn't agree to it, and as y'all remember, we were still in the middle of the pandemic at that time, and everything was unknown. But the gentleman standing at the podium has stood strong. He put a work plan together, he stuck by it, and he has completed that project well before the plant is scheduled to start up. And I think a lot of kudos goes to he and his entire staff for making that happen.
Way to go, Tim.
thank you. Thank you.
The last thing I have, Chief Dixon here, who has brought our new fireboat. It is located on Elm Street. So once you depart, you may want to take
On First Street.
First Street. You may want to take a look at it. It's very impressive. You may want to see what we spent our money on. And anything you want to add, Josh? I saw it out in the river today doing its test runs, and
Everything's been going fine. The only thing that we're waiting on now is to get the signage put on, which will be here after the 4th of July. So it'll look a lot better when we're out on the river.
that's all I have.
All right. I have need to make 4 appointments today. We have 2 on the electric utility board that we have discussed previously, actually a few weeks ago, that we need to act on. And because I've talked to each individual commissioner about these appointments, I would like to do these 2 together. And so we have Russell Seitz and Mark Weaver, who are set for a new 3-year term. I have spoken with the head of our utility, Brad Bickett. I've also spoken with the chair of the board, Lynn Shannon. Both have indicated if they would like to continue to serve, they would like to continue to have them on the utility board for different reasons. Both of them have their strengths and they complement each other very well. And so at their recommendation, I would like to entertain a motion to reappoint Russell Seitz and Mark Weaver to a new 3-year term ending in April of 2026.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowles?
Aye.
Mayor State?
Aye. On tourism, we'll do these separately because I haven't had a chance to speak with anyone about them. The first one is we have two joint appointments. And so these are made in conjunction with an appointment from the county as well for the same person. The first joint appointment candidate is Dee Patel. He has served on the tourism board for a number of months. He's sort of a newcomer to the community. He is a bright young person who is quietly looking to do some big things in Henderson. And he has some good feedback from Abby. The county judge got with me and said that he would like to have us both entertain reappointing Dee Patel for another 3-year term. If it pleases the commission, I'd like to entertain a motion to reappoint Dee Patel to a 3-year term to the tourism board.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowles?
Aye.
Mayor State?
Aye. And the next person up for a joint appointment with the county to the tourism board is Kelsey Hargis. She is not a newcomer to the community, but she comes with high accolades from the tourism board, the tourism director as well. The county judge and I have spoken. He is going to recommend her for joint appointment. I would like to entertain a motion to reappoint her to a new 3-year term to the tourism board.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowles?
Aye.
Mayor State?
Aye. We do have need for executive session, but before that, we'll go ahead and do our commissioners' comments. Commissioner Thomas, do you have anything today?
Not today.
All right. Commissioner Pruitt.
Yeah, I would just like to thank the police department and the fire department for helping out with the block party on Martin Luther King this past weekend. It was awesome.
The police department has been involved in a number of outreaching things lately. We were talking about that earlier. They did the basketball camp that same day over at JFK, and they continue to do the coffee with a cop, and they've really been getting out there. I appreciate that. Commissioner Bowles.
Just say thanks for the update from the gas department today. It's great to know that it's progressing the way it should be. So glad to hear it. Good work on that. That's all I have.
All right. I do not have anything to add. However, I have a question for Dawn before we...
Sure.
Are we coming back with any kind of action on anything we're going to discuss? Okay, so we are going to entertain a motion in just a second to go into executive session. It is likely to last a good amount of time. We're going to come back with no action, and we are going to leave this room. So you're welcome to stay in the room if you'd like to see the end of the meeting, but you're certainly not required to. Do we have a motion for executive session?
I move that the commission go into executive session for the purpose of discussion of proposed litigation against the city of Henderson and proposed litigation on behalf of the city of Henderson pursuant to KRS 61.810, paragraph 1, subsection C, and for discussion which might lead to the discipline or dismissal of an employees pursuant to KRS 61.810, paragraph 1, subsection F.
Before we get a second, when we do, I'm anticipating that we'll approve this. When we do approve this, we will retire to the city manager's office. So we have a motion for executive session. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
We are in executive session.